cry on this live. This ain't the time. Hey cousins. Thank you guys for joining. This is so exciting, Bridget. Thank you so much. We're just gonna give it a few minutes. I got on a few minutes late, but we are here. It is happening. Go ahead and like, share, tag the video so people can jump on and we can chit chat just a little bit. We're not gonna be on long tonight, but I do want to just introduce the book to you guys, introduce myself to you guys, and we're gonna get right to it. Thank you guys for joining me. Hi, Ma. Hi, cousins. We are here. We are live and in effect. Gonna give it about 2 more minutes, let people continue to come in. Thank you guys for the shares. Thank you for logging on. Thank you guys for the support. Hi, sister. Don't make me nervous. I'm already nervous enough. Hi, Paloma. Thank you for joining. Mom, don't make me cry. I'm gonna get y'all mama. Probably should left fan on. Thank you, babe. My support. You the man. Hi, Shonda. You can order, you can DM the Well Kept page, you can DM my personal page. Today is the last day for the pre-order promotion. It's $10. The first round of books have already come and gone. My mom, who is also one of my biggest supporters, she pushed before I even released, so I had to order a new round of books, and they are here. They will be going out tomorrow, so if you pre-ordered, then your book will be in the mail tomorrow. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the official book release of Well Kept. My first and new book. I'm so excited. I am so proud of myself. It took a lot to birth this book. It is on Kindle. I'm going to ask one of my sisters to respond to the questions on the live. So, just a little bit I have family on the live. I have friends. I have some people that I've met through the internet. I have some people that I've connected with through ministry on here. So I want to say thank you guys so much for your continuous support. It really took a lot. So I want to just kind of tell you what Well Kept is about. So Well Kept is a compilation of various seasons that I've gone through over the past 2.5 years. I am a Christian. I am a follower of Christ. I am a diehard God believer. So I do go to church. I have been active in ministry, and I've had some experiences. Growing up, I was in church. I grew up in church. When my grandma passed, I pretty much fell off, but God kind of chased me down. I depleted my grace, as most of us often do. I depleted my grace, and I finally got plugged back in, but I went in with a religious mindset. I went in with the mindset of, the pastor isn't supposed to do this, the pastor's wife isn't supposed to do that. So I held the leaders to a much higher standard than I held myself, and those standards were very unrealistic. So I went through a lot of unnecessary pain, a lot of unnecessary warfare, and through those seasons, I kind of just journaled. I journaled my experiences. I journaled my emotions. I journaled what God was speaking to me and the things that he led me to do throughout those seasons. So after a while, I realized that there's a necessity for my experiences. There is a necessity. There was a purpose for my pain. And this book kind of shares those experiences with you guys. It takes you on the journey that I went through. And not just in ministry. It's not just a spiritual book. These are seasons that we go through in natural life, whether you're a believer or not. So you go through seasons where you feel like, you're living in darkness. I remember once, and it wasn't my first time. I just wasn't able to put a name to it, where I go through a season where, I'm in broad daylight, but everything just seems so dark. Everything just seems so dry and desolate. We go through seasons where we feel like we can't talk, like our voice isn't heard. We go through seasons where we just have to push through. I just came out of one of those seasons. As most of you know, my family just suffered a very traumatic loss back to back to back to back. So that was a season for me where I just really had to persevere and push through. And I am grateful to God that I was able to make it through, because some of the things that I've experienced, I wholeheartedly believe that not everyone can make it through those seasons with the substance needed to be able to continue going forward, to continue to even try to help other people go through those seasons. So when I call it a cave-provoking experiences, those are the experiences where you just want to shut down. I've been going through those for a long time now. There are some people who, haven't left me in those seasons, and now they can actually see the fruit of God on my life because I handle those seasons differently. Those seasons where we just want to go and hide. Those seasons where we just want to hibernate and not talk to anyone, put our phone on airplane mode, just fall off the face of the earth for a while. I have those seasons. I have had those seasons. So this book also talks about some of those seasons where, I kind of shut everybody out. The seasons where I felt like, I just wasn't good enough. The seasons where I felt like, there was just no hope. But the pastor just said on Sunday, hopelessness. If you are hopeless, then that means you're not hearing from God. So, I kind of changed my posture. That caused me to change my posture very quickly. So that's what this book is. I believe that it has something in it to help any and everyone who desires to just live their best life. Definitely not in a outrageous way, but just in a good way. Anyone who desires to be happy, anyone who desires to have a servant's heart, because we're all servants. Even leaders are servants. And sometimes we forget that. And I've gone through those processes where I'm arrogant. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm doing this, but there's always someone better. And, just as quick as we got on our high horse, we can be knocked off. And I've gone through that as well. So I've learned a lot. And these seasons that I talk about are unavoidable. There's no way around them. I believe that everyone will go through at least half of the seasons mentioned in this book at some point in their life, especially if you're a believer, because it comes from a ministry standpoint. So I want to just talk to you very briefly today about my season of silence, because now I found my voice. Now I cannot be shut down. No one can silence me but God. And I went through a season where I was just muffled. And that was just it. I wouldn't say anything. I allowed anything to happen to me. I allowed people to, talk to me any kind of way. I allowed people to treat me any kind of way. And the people who knew me BC, before Christ, because, especially those from my hometown, y'all know how I used to be out in the streets and stuff. Thank God for deliverance. But my voice have just really gotten silenced. And I learned through this process the difference between being muffled and being filtered. So, just to kind of start off, even in the book, the season of silence comes to you with the scripture that says, set a guard, O Lord, over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. A lot of us need that, because some of us just say the first thing that comes to our mind. And, it's not always good. Your mom used to tell you, if you ain't got nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. It's very valid. But, I had, for the sake of proper submission, because I've always been a very independent young lady. I've always been very outspoken, but also very kind. And I've always tried to be the peacemaker. And that's where I tried to, that's where the discrepancy came in for me. Because me wanting to be the peacemaker caused me to be muffled instead of allowing God to filter my mouth. So a muffle is intended to stop you from speaking at all. They come in all shapes, forms, sizes. They're meant to completely silence you. They're demonic. Your voice should not be shut down. What you say should be filtered, but it shouldn't be shut down. So a filter, it just kind of weeds out all of the bad and all of the negative and everything that is unnecessary in what you have to say. So in my season of being muffled, it was very hard for me, because where I should have been assertive or I should have spoken up for myself, I didn't. I kind of just, took a step back, took the back seat to a lot of things, and just allowed things to happen. Just allowed people to do things that I knew was wrong. But for the sake of keeping the peace, I shut up and just sat back. As opposed to being assertive, or even for the sake of being respectful. That was a lot of it. For the sake of being respectful, I never wanted to be deemed as disrespectful. I never wanted to be deemed as, a hothead or a potty mouth or anything like that. And, I am going through the process of being able to control my mouth and to control my anger. So I know how I am when, someone upsets me. So I never speak out of anger, because I never want to say anything that I can't take back, and I never want to say anything that I don't mean. So instead of going through the process and taking the time to actually allow my words and my thoughts and my mind to be filtered into a way where what I said could be the truth, but even if it is hurtful, it would be spoken in love. So if you're saying something out of spite, that's different. Even if it is the truth, your motives are wrong. As opposed to, this is out of love, this is just my truth. How it makes you feel, that's, controversial, but it is my truth. So that's kind of the difference between being muffled and being filtered. But actually going through the process of being filtered, it makes you look, excuse me, it makes you look like you're weak. It makes you feel like you're weak. It makes you feel like, you're less than. It makes you feel like, it makes you feel trapped. It really just makes you feel trapped. And I went through that. Filters are divine, though. Filters are meant to do just exactly, they're meant to cleanse, they're meant to purify. And you have to really be willing to go through that process. And I was actually doing a search today, and there's a lot of flesh. that comes with those who won't allow themselves to be filtered. And that was me. Because a lot of confusion, you can cause a lot of confusion. And we hear people oftentimes say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And if you're coming from a place of anger, if you're coming from a place of being muffled, if you're coming from a place of, just being suppressed, that's what it was. You're coming from your voice being suppressed. People whose voice have been suppressed, especially those as children, when they grow into adults, they say what they want to say, when they want to say, how they want to say it, because they finally have a voice. But once you find your voice, you still have to go through the process of being filtered. And that's a very uncomfortable process. It's very uncomfortable. You can only release certain things. And it caused me many nights of heartache, many nights of pain, many nights of tears, because I'm like, I feel weak. They just tried my gangster. Like, what you mean? You can't just talk to me any kind of way. But when God silences you, which he's not shutting you up or shutting you down, he's filtering you, it's a very painful process. So once I actually went through the process of submitting to the filter, it was much easier for me. It was much easier for me. I had to search my heart. I had just really had to search my heart because, I'm not the type of person that go for low blows, especially not verbally. I don't go for low blows. So I had to kind of see where those emotions were coming from and what was fueling my fire, what was fueling me to say what I was going to say. And it wasn't all pretty. It wasn't all pretty. It wasn't all good. It wasn't all respectful. It wasn't all holier than thou. Nobody is perfect. All of us have sinned and fall short of the glory. So I just really had to search myself, and it was a process. It was a very hard process. There was a shift that had to take place in my mind first, because everything goes from the head down. Everything flows from the head down. You get your head out, your whole body is following. You change your thoughts, your whole body is going to follow. So even as something as simple or as carnal as a natural diet. So if I change my mindset of, I can't eat this because I want to be healthy, not just to lose weight, but because I want a healthier lifestyle, because I want to change my lifestyle. If I change my mindset, then I'm able to, everything is going to follow. So once I was able to get my head out, my body followed, my heart followed, my actions followed. And I kind of talk about that in the book as well, as far as honor, because honor is a foreign language to a lot of people, even in the church. And honor, it has all of these different definitions, and what honor is to you may not be what's honorable to me. And just because she is honorable to you don't mean that she's honorable to him. So, we have to really just check ourselves and check our motives. But I really went through some really dark seasons in this book. And these are the seasons that we often go through that we don't talk to anybody about. We don't tell anybody about. And I didn't either. I didn't talk to anybody about it. I didn't tell anybody about it. I just sat, in private and journaled and, just did what I do and just allow God to wash me and to cleanse me and to, just purify me and to just change my thought process, to just shift my atmosphere and shift the people that are around me. And we make jokes about, these memes when we ask God to take away everything that ain't for us, or all the people who are not, for us. And the people who we felt was closest to us go to disappearing. They go to falling off. But you got to be willing to go through that process, because as long as you stay attached, the same things you always got is what you're going to continue to get. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over expecting a different result. Had a little connection issues for a second. But yeah, but the good thing about it is once the muffle comes off, baby, it's over. It was over. Nobody could shut me up. I had to go through the process all over again to be able to. I had to go through the filtering process again once the muffle came off. I felt lighter. I had to shake it off just a little bit. I had a little praise break in there, because I'm like, ooh, it was a weight that came with the muffle. There's a weight, and the yoke of God is not heavy. His burden is light, but there was a weight that came with it. But when that muffle came off, I felt like a whole new woman, a whole new person. I felt light. I felt like I can float, like a butterfly, sting like a bee, just look. But seriously, yeah, so you may not even realize that you're muffled. If you're in any situation where you're having to second guess what you want to say, either your heart is not pure or you're muffled. You can't allow people to dictate how you feel. You can't allow people to dictate what you say. There's a way to say everything and there's a time to say everything, but your true feelings and your true emotions should always be spoken through your actions, through your words, through everything. Just let it be sincere. And some of the most outspoken people are often disliked. People are easily offended by them because they speak the truth, and they're speaking it in love, but because we don't like the truth. I can't say y'all. We don't like